Flamenco's a pedophile.
Can I get pictures of your feet?
I'd have to fuck Tommy C. Like, that guy's got a set of balls on him.
Tommy just pegged you.
Just because I have a vagina. I actually don't say the N-word.
Can you say it right now?
Now recording.
This is now recording. This is Matt Pitt. This is Toxic. This is Beavers. This is Core. And I'm Ash. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
That was adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Made me
good
smile.
job. Good job. I wanted to ask, just to start this whole off, like, what made you want to do this now?
There's a big push to do this now because I am getting all of my medical records together to go to lawyers. So I don't know how long I'm going to be able to talk about, kind of what happened, before all of this, and kind of why I am the way I am for much longer,
Okay. So,
and
continue.
until I don't know how many years until I'm going to be able to talk about it, and it affects a lot of people, I think. And if I can no longer talk about it, then and I don't get this information out, then the conversation kind of dies until I get done with the lawyers,
Okay. I noticed that when you were on Twitter before we asked you to come on again, you were kind of you seemed pretty frustrated at people in the commentary community. Do you want to go into any detail about that?
I can. There's been certain situations where there seems to be double standards. And I understand when things happen behind the scenes with people. And if things happen behind the scenes with people and that's not translated to the general public, you can seem like a really big hypocrite at times.
Mm-hmm.
And it can seem like maybe even that you're manipulating people. And when I feel like someone's manipulating somebody else, I'm like, hey, what are you doing? Hey, there's something going on over there. I'm going to speak about it. I'm going to be like, hey, I think there's something going on over there. Somebody should check that out.
Right. So what exactly what's going on? What exactly do you have issues with? Right now, obviously we'll go into what your past and the issues in the commentary before, but exactly what now is going on right now that you're having issues with?
Well, I just see things that in the past we wouldn't put up with, calling people certain names, like a pedophile. I see that back in 2015, 2016, we had cases where people weren't called pedophiles because of the support that they had from the community. In the case versus Keemstar versus what was his name? Joey Salads.
Right.
In that case, Joey Salads came with absolutely no evidence, from what I've read. And the only reason why Keemstar wasn't consistently called a pedophile was because the community was like, well, if you don't have any evidence, we can't call someone a pedophile because that's damaging to your reputation outside of this,
Okay.
And
go ahead.
I'm seeing now that people who used to believe in that standard, people like Nicholas DiOrio, have completely abandoned that. And for what? For money?
Mm-hmm.
And it's I'm seeing this and I'm going, if something happened behind the scenes with him and Flamenco to cause him to call him a pedophile, then or to condone this, then then we need to see that. But it's not fair to Flamenco. And
Okay.
I'm not here to play sides, but I'm here to see like, hey, what's right and what's wrong here.
Okay. So when you say call somebody a pedophile, I don't think Nick has. I'm trying to think of the time where Nick has called Flamenco a pedophile, but I don't know if he hasn't called him one. But I know that if he has called him one, it has been a joke. Same goes with Auggie, right? So what you're saying is none of it's okay.
I just don't think. I think when we cross into the pedophile sphere, I don't think that's okay, because like there are certain people out there, like I know it's a joke, like, and sometimes when like Salvo, he's not kidding, like he actually thinks that Flamenco's a pedophile.
How do you know he's not kidding?
Like there's been times on stream that he's gone, no, I seriously think that Flamenco's a pedophile.
But you understand that even in that time, like it's possible that he's still just not letting the bit go, trying to push it as far as he can to convince you that he thinks that.
But do you see the problem here?
I could see a problem in the sense that I could see why Flamenco's mad at Salvo. I could see that, but
But
Yeah.
do you see? Can we go out to the bigger picture and see that people could believe that Flamenco's a pedophile? Like, take Salvo's word for it and go, yeah, Salvo has evidence that Flamenco's a pedophile and Flamenco's a pedophile, and I'm going to tell everybody that Flamenco's a pedophile.
well,
That's what I'm worried about. Like, I'm worried about life ruination shit. Because that's what this can get to. With being a pedophile and Salvo saying stuff like Flamenco touched his sister, and that's why he has like these locked files away.
Right. He's
in
also
court.
said he's going to fight Flamenco and he's going to bring out a dog to sacrifice and murder before he goes out. What my point is, he says a lot of horrible things that are not. I don't take them seriously.
I forgot he said that.
Yeah, I don't take them seriously in that
But
sense.
Matt, does everybody know that he says all of those ridiculous things all of the time?
I'd say a majority of
think
his
so.
fans do get that, and I think there's a minority of people who cannot, either through their conditions or just like maybe lack of common sense, just can't see the nuance of comedy and how exaggerated he is being when he's saying these things. Look, he could very well think that Flamenco is a pedophile. He could also very well be doing this bit that he won't let go of because that's just what he does. That's what kind of got him, like, I think that's kind of what got him a podcast with Keemstar. So I can see why he continues to do this, if that makes sense.
And I like, if it is a bit, I can completely see why he continues to do it. But I support Salvo as an entertainer.
Yeah.
But the decision he made to take it as far as he's taken it, and to not realize that some people do have conditions worse than I do, like, and like they will believe what Salvo says, and that's kind of what I'm worried about, and what are the ramifications for Flamenco. And it's alarming to me that nobody is taking that second to go, hey, you know, what is this? What is supposed to be an innocent joke and not supposed to be hurting anybody? What are the ramifications for this for the innocent party?
Okay. What is your opinion on Salvo right now?
Oh, my opinion on Salvo right now, I think he is an excellent entertainer. I think he's really great at connecting with people. I think that sometimes his jokes can be, you know, hit or miss, but, you know, jokes are subjective, you know? And I choose to take his jokes as just as that, you know?
Right. So, and you can, so you see, like, that's kind of where I come from, in the sense that I think he's joking 99% of the time. So obviously, if I were Flamenco, I would take issue with what Salvo is saying. The thing is, right, when you're getting trolled, if the troll will continue to do so, if they continue to get a reaction. So if he continues to get a reaction from Flamenco, he's gonna probably keep saying it as much as he can. And he's single-handedly has let's be honest, he single-handedly took Flamenco out of the commentary community. That step, like, that he took towards Flamenco, and Flamenco kind of decided to just go back and forth with him instead of realizing it was a troll. It kind of caused the bridge to burn with him in the commentary community. Would you agree to that?
No.
No? Okay.
I think there was a lot more to it. I think that I think there's a lot more that people aren't seeing. And it's because I'm very much an outsider in this community.
Yeah.
So I have very much an outsider's perspective of this community.
Okay.
I think that I really think that you have to look at a couple of different people. And those were the people that got him out. Salvo was a major component, yes. But it also was the help of Auggie and Nicholas DiOrio.
Okay. So, but again, I don't think Nick or Auggie were in any way, shape, or form prepared to push Flamenco out of the community without Salvo trolling Flamenco. Right?
I think Salvo opened the door. I think Nick was super tired of Flamenco. I think Auggie loved Flamenco. And I think that Salvo and Nick just kind of convinced Auggie, and Flamenco didn't help his case.
Okay.
I could see that. I don't know if Auggie loved Flamenco, but I think they were. Auggie seems to be a generous person when it comes to Spurgs and
Faithful to his friends.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see most of that. Like Salvo kind of started it, and then Nick was probably ready to get Flamenco out. So yeah,
And
makes
then
sense.
Flamenco started to go off the rails because he didn't know how to react, because he was already facing two quote unquote credible pedophile accusations before this, and then he felt like his friends were turning against him when really his friends weren't turning against him, but then it turned into that, you know?
Yeah.
Because of the way he reacted to it, and it's not right and it's not okay, and it shouldn't have happened, but I can see how it happened. I feel really bad for what happened to Flamenco, and the same thing kind of happened with me. And it's because I was new to the internet, like when I first came here. And so it's like I didn't know how to react to stuff. And like already having the stuff that was going on with me before, it was like, okay, how do I react to this?
So let's go back all the way to the beginning. What exactly happened there? What started this? Your issue with the people.
All the way to the beginning.
The beginning of you watching commentary, you're starting to interact with people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I came in watching through Tipster's community.
Okay.
No, I didn't come in being an e-girl. I know that question's going to come up in the comments, so I wanted to dispel that right now. I didn't come in as an e-girl. I just came in as a viewer, and I really, and we talked about this before, I really I saw the setup that you guys had, and it's like, you guys were just good guys reporting on what was going on in the news, and it was
True.
like you guys were just trying to make sense of it, and I thought that was awesome, and you guys are just trying to be good role models for kids, and like
Well,
in
I
my
don't, I
eyes,
don't, I don't know.
all the time, but like maybe for teenagers and young adults, not kids.
Uh,
But
when you say you
Don't-
guys, are you referring to us, or are you referring to as the commentary community as a whole? Like
as a
the
commentary community as a
Okay,
whole,
good.
Okay, yeah, I
not
just want to make
like
sure.
Yeah, 'cause-
specifically you guys are like good influences for adults.
Yeah, we're not here to
Yeah,
influence kids.
No.
Yeah, we're not here to do that.
I don't think
'cause
I'd
that
say
would-
we're good influences for adults either.
If that were the case, we would have gotten many people killed after the last
Yeah.
I
episode.
think if you're listening to this, you're a degenerate.
Maybe, especially if I'm here, but that's beside the point.
Yeah,
Well-
Uh, anyway, but and then I got a little bit into I got a little bit deeper into the commentary community, and I made a stupid tweet one day. And looking back on it, it was really stupid. And I got into a really stupid beef. And Tommy actually was the one who corrected me that day. And we got into a fight, and he ended up calling, he said something about fake outrage. And like, if you know me, there's nothing about me that's fake.
okay.
And so like that's the thing that triggered me off. It wasn't anything about the situation. It wasn't anything about like Dumpy or Kai, the artist that was involved. It was merely about him calling me fake that day.
Yeah,
It was
let's give some context to that. Dumpy had a thumbnail with a one of those Minecraft YouTubers. The thumbnail had someone's art on it. They tried to call Dumpy out. You tweeted at most of the commentary community to maybe try to either do something about it or talk about it, and Tommy kind of saw that as fake outrage. Am I getting anything wrong?
Oh no, you're not getting anything wrong. I
Okay.
just didn't know at the time that like there was a component of it that like I didn't know, and I'm trying to think of it right now. It'll come back to me, or else I'll.
There is a formula to fake outrage, and like I don't know if you were doing that accidentally, and I don't know if you were doing, and you definitely weren't doing it on purpose. But there's a lot of people in the, I don't even want to say in the community, just people that either watch that or pretend to watch, who kind of pop up and they have their own agenda, and they'll say stuff like, "I've been a fan of you for so and so many years. I can't believe you've changed like this." And it's like it's a literal formula they play by. I just saw this recently with Tommy versus Mama Max. They pretend that they've been fans for a long time, and they pretend that they're ashamed of them. Now, you didn't do any of those things, but I think it's possible that Tommy just pegged you as like one of those,
Whoa.
just because he doesn't know who you are really, right? You're just a person on Twitter. He hasn't
Yeah.
had a one-on-one situation with you, so it's possible that he just saw you as someone that's like, "Oh, here we go again," situation. So he kind of just stepped in and said what he said.
Yeah, and it's just like I'm the type of person that I don't care who you are. I don't care how powerful you are. I don't care how much you have. You're not going to step on me. Like, I'm going to push back on you. And like, because like if you disrespect me, like I'm going to come back and I'm going to be like, "Nope. Like that's not okay."
Yeah.
And so I pushed back on Tommy. I was like, and I gave him what for, and he was like, and yeah, so we went back and forth.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't think Tommy's used to a woman doing that.
All?
Lol. It's kind of like I was sitting there going, I don't think he's used to this.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Before this, wasn't there a meme, or didn't you become a meme at some point because you said something about Auggie, or was there something like that
I
happened?
did. There was. I think there was like. I think I accidentally made a sex joke about Auggie once.
Yeah.
Like, no lie. I think I accidentally made a sex joke, and I was 100% joking. Like,
Okay.
I was like, and like, I was completely joking. I didn't know there was like, apparently I made it at like the worst time ever.
Mhm.
Didn't know what was going on in the community.
Yeah,
And
I think at that point, Augie was dealing with a stalker issue. And
oh
it's
yeah,
like,
and then like everyone started calling me this Tati C chick's name, and I'm
Yeah.
like, who's that? Who's that bimbo?
So would you or would you not fuck Augie? Real questions.
Real questions? He'd have to grow up. Like,
Fair. 'Cause
yeah,
you don't want to fuck little boys. Got it.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Well, it's not like that. It's more like Augie has a lot of potential, and it really sucks to see his voice crushed by bigger people around him that feel like that he feels are bigger than him, and they're not. He's very much a better person in my eyes. And if he just found his confidence a little bit more, he could do so much more.
yeah,
And like, I think he needs to hear that, but nobody's had the balls to say it.
right.
And that's kind of what I'm all about. It's like everyone tips toes around shit. And it's like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Just like it sounds bad. Like, and sometimes it sounds really personal, but like if you listen to the words I'm saying, it's with 100% the best intent, and it's there to make you grow.
Right. So where so you had that you started getting memed on. When did you start noticing that there was you were getting trolled a bit in the community?
You know, my first real huge trolling experience was Spondyle. You know, it was after, well, it actually wasn't. It was actually Psych Draws. It was actually my first trolling experience.
Uh-huh.
She, like, that woman just doesn't like me for some reason. Like, every time, I would go off, I went off after that Tommy C incident, and she sent out a tweet saying that all Tommy C orbiters are effing insane. And I caught her saying it. And I remember exactly what I responded back to her to. I was like, "You're super talented, but if you ever want to go anywhere outside of this sphere, you're going to have to learn to be nicer and a lot more respectful."
Okay.
Because I knew she was talking about me. Like, and like, if you have something to say, just come and say it to me.
Okay. So is there any other issues you've had with Psych Draws?
Oh yeah, like she would come into chats, like her and I, like she would see me pop up in a chat, and like all of a sudden, like she would stop what she was doing and she would just start freaking saying my name, saying I was saying I was a psycho. One time she even said that I would kill people. I have the receipts for that. Like it's crazy, and she did this for like 3 or 4 months until like HAL 9000, until like that incident happened with him.
Are you talking about the Polis thing, or are you talking about something else?
No, I'm talking about the Polis thing where he said that really nasty thing to her. Like, he said, "I wouldn't even R-word you," and I was like, "How? Like, you can't
Oh,
say that stuff to people." Like,
right.
dude. But ever since then, like she didn't come around me anymore.
Okay. And it's been kind of So after that, it was kind of just like you guys just never really interacted after that.
Oh yeah, we never interacted after that. And like every time we've interacted, I've tried not to like, I've been like, either try to ignore her or been like, hey, dude, why are you doing this? Like, hey, dude, stop doing this. Like,
Okay. When it comes to flamenco, when did you end up getting the moderator role?
I got it one night when, like, I had been watching. I think like there was a time in my personal life where, like, I had really hit it really hard down in the dumps, and like, so I was watching flamenco every night, and I was just, and it was like one of the first nights that he was there at Cozy, and like we were talking about what happened with, um it was before what happened with Tommy C, and he was like, here, just let me give you a mod role, and because
Oh.
I'd followed him from YouTube to Cozy. I think that was the reason.
After you got the mod role, like, did you become friends with Flamenco?
Not really. I would try and help out with like the stream or anything. Like, I would try and give him like tips for stories. I would like try and like give him clips from Twitter. I would try and like, like stuff like that. Like after I was um modded. Stuff to just try and keep the content going for him.
So you
Mhm.
guys didn't really have any like kind
No,
of
there was
personal conversations in the DMs ever?
no, but like when the whole Tommy C thing happened, he was just like, I went to him for help and stuff like that. That was the only real interaction like that we had. And he was just like, I don't really care what people say about you. Like that doesn't really, I'm not really concerned about that. People are going to talk.
How serious did you take this mod role?
I just made sure I was there every night, and made sure that he had people covering his chat.
The reason I ask, I think in our private conversation, you referred to yourself as a protector. Is that how you actually saw yourself?
If I came across that way, I'm sorry, because that's not really how I see my way or see myself.
Okay.
It was more like he had my back, like, because he didn't like, to my understanding, he wasn't really talking crap about me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, my only thing was, like, not to talk crap about him, and, just make sure I was there for streams, and make sure that, like, make sure he had help with his chat. And
So when you said protector, were you saying that's probably hyperbole?
yeah, it was more
Okay.
like, it was more like if something's said to me by flamenco, that like I keep my mouth shut, and like stuff like that. The things that, like, when you're close to somebody, that you make sure you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when the flamenco stuff went down, I believe it was the second debate with Nick versus flamenco on Edwin's Twitch stream. You popped in. What was your thought process going in on that stream?
I'm half asleep.
Oh,
That you were half asleep?
Oh yeah, like 80-30. Like,
God.
like he messaged me. Like, 80-30 is not afraid of me at all. Like, God bless that guy. Like, that guy's got a set of balls on him.
Uh,
Because he just came to me, and he was like, people are talking about you, girl. And I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about me? Like, because for me, if we got a problem, you come and talk to me.
Right.
Like, so he's like, girl, people are talking about you. And I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, Flamenco's like, or he didn't tell me like the Flamenco was defending me, but he's like, people are talking about you. Do you want to pop in? And I was like, well, if people are talking about me, like, there's not much I can do about that. So I was like, no, I don't want to pop in because there's nothing I can do about that. But I tuned into the stream, and Flamenco was in there, and he was like, he was defending like what I was doing. Like, he was defending my actions on Twitter. And Flamenco's not beside me every day when I'm making a freaking Twitter post. What are you guys thinking?
Mhm.
Like, why are you guys grilling this guy about what I'm doing on Twitter? If you got questions, if you got problems, you come get me. Like, what the heck? And so like I contact 8030 again. I was like, get me in there. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I take care of my own problems. I'm a big girl. Like, no.
Right. So you go in there, and I when we were talking, you seemed very hesitant to come on Now Recording, which I was kind of surprised that you jumped into the stream.
Well,
So-
it's because like Flam was in there like defending my actions on Twitter, and I'm
Yeah.
like, a man's up in there defending my actions, and it's like, no, I fight my own battles. If someone's got a problem with me, they're going to deal with me and my actions. They're not going to bother Flamenco about it. It's like if somebody like, I'm also a Keemstar mod. It's like if somebody went to Keemstar about what I was doing. I'd be like, no, Keem, you're gonna let me in there. You're gonna let me talk, and I'm going to defend myself, and it'd be hell.
How did you think that went? That conversation.
Oh, that went terribly.
Oh,
I'm not wrong. Like, I know it went terribly because I was defensive as crap because, like, these guys are sitting here thinking that they can talk to Flamenco about what I'm doing and thinking that that's okay. And, like,
It-
I'm coming in there all defensive, and they start talking about what's wrong with me medically at the end, and I'm like, excuse me?
Okay.
did Flamenco ever reach out to you about the Spondau situation, which we'll talk about in a second? Whenever that happened and
Oh,
people found out
great.
about it.
Let me double check my DMs. Just to make sure. I don't want to be wrong, but I
Yeah,
do
no
not
problem.
believe he did. I don't even believe he knew about it. I believe he found out about it on a stream when all the way at the end, like when the whole Flamenco was getting a whole bunch of hate, and he was, getting kicked out of the commentary community. And like he asked me on stream to send him everything, and then he never looked through our DMs, is what he said on stream.
Yeah.
But I did send him everything in full transparency when he asked me to that night. And then when I never heard anything back from him and my mod role wasn't taken away, I thought everything was okay.
Interesting. So what actually happened with the because we talked about it before, but I just want to hear like your rundown of the whole Spondau situation.
Sorry. I just like it was my one mistake. Like it was my one huge mistake where like I had been getting hate for a long time before this, and then like I get this DM where like this random guy just is asking for feet pictures, and like hindsight's 2020, should have blocked him. I know. But we start going back and forth, and I start getting like, I just want this guy to go away. Like, and for me, it's like okay, I've just been like, I've just received all of this hate for like, from like this whole Tommy C situation, dealing with that. And then I turn around and I'm dealing with this, and like now I'm being sexually harassed by this guy, and it's like, it was just like a lot at once.
Yeah.
And like my emotions took over, and it was just like,
And so, just for context, during this conversation, which is a conversation we actually read through on episode 11.5 of Now Recording, Spondyle jumped into your DMs asking for feet, I think, and you guys had a very interesting back and forth that got pretty aggressive. And at one point, he sends a picture of his, which wasn't actually a picture of his face. It was a picture of someone named Bagel's face.
oh,
And
bagels, sorry.
yeah, and you basically said like say hello to OBS Studios, and in many ways it was a threat to face dox, and basically you were going to put it out there. Am I getting anything wrong there?
In the heat of the moment, yes. Like, in the heat of the moment, I wanted to face dox him. Like, yes. But
Do you think you could have done it? Do you think you were capable of
No.
doing it?
no.
Okay. So do you think you were just saying that as like a threat just to piss him off or get him to
Yeah.
go away? And then was there any intention at all to put it out there?
Like my emotion, like in the moment when you have all of those emotions in there, all you want to do is like, all you want is for like that person to know that it's not okay to be doing this, and like all you want is for that point to get across. But once you calm down and you realize that reality of putting that face dox out there, you're like, no, you're like, I could never do that to a person.
Right.
Like that reality is too real. Like that is too hateful to do to a person. Like I could never cross that line. And it's because like I believe that whatever you do in this world, it comes back to you threefold. And so it's like I always try to like do what's best for others and do what's best for myself and try to support other people. And so in that situation, like it was hard for me to look back and see me go into my emotions like that and try to defend myself in that way when I know I could have walked, like I know now that like I could have walked away and I could have chosen a different path. It's hard for me to continuously look back on that mistake.
Yeah. What did you think from his interactions? What was going through your head when he was going? Do you think he was being serious, or do you think he was trolling you, or what were you thinking from him?
In that moment, like my brain was in a different place, because I do have PTSD. I have been in situations where people sexually do want to do me harm. So it's really hard to receive something like that and to try and stay really objective and stay out of your emotions and to not take it as a serious threat. Afterwards, no, I didn't think that he was serious, and like my brain didn't understand why I went there, but taking into account like, you know, all of my emotions and what I've been through in life, I can completely understand why I even went there.
Because you and I went over you and Toxic went over the DMs and we read them out loud. And so to me, at first, it felt like you were kind of just, he's pushing you, so you're going to push back. You know, you're shitting on him, he's shitting on you, and some of the DMs are pretty funny because he just keeps asking for feet. And I think at one point you said you were going to shit on him or something. I'm trying to remember. Yeah,
I did.
So,
if you're gonna get down there, like, sure, why not? And at that point, you know, when shit or when stuff gets that graphic, it's just like, okay, I want you to leave me alone now. Bye. Please go away.
Let me ask you this: if you wanted him to leave you alone, why not just block him and be done with it?
And as I said, hindsight is 2020. But in that moment, it's like when you've been in. I've been in situations where sexually people have wanted to do me harm. So when you go back to that place, and when you're in that moment, and you're thinking that someone sexually wants to do you harm in that moment, and you just want people to go away, you're not thinking of like all of the rational decisions in your mind just kind of start to go away.
Right. Well,
Have
it's,
And
go ahead,
and it-
Doc.
Have you talked to Spondyle since that situation?
no, I've tried to leave Spondyle alone because it's like, you're a minor. I have no business talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
Good point.
So, at that point, when this happened and the screenshots were being leaked and stuff, what was going through your mind?
Nothing. I knew that everyone was going to take his side. So it's like, and I knew I didn't have anybody on my side. So it's like, there was nothing that could be done at that point.
Okay. And just for the record, you didn't dox him.
True.
So you didn't go
What I
after him.
said.
You know, all this stayed in the DMs. It's definitely something you shouldn't have done, but and it's something he shouldn't have came into your DMs and saying weird shit too. I will say I've had interactions with Spondyle though. He seems to be
Weird.
a person who's just going to be very masked
Weird.
off, weird. Whatever gets a reaction, he's going to try to get a reaction. That just seems like the person he is. I disavow. I don't defend him, but he exists in our community and he's here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And so it's just like, I'm just going to let him, like, I don't want him deplatformed. I want him to have a platform. I want him to have a nice and healthy life. And I wish him nothing but the best. I don't really want to interact with Spondyle.
Okay.
And it's because like this happened, and like I tried to do the right thing, and I completely got screwed over.
Okay. All right.
And so it's like it's that point where it's like I tried to do the right thing, and then I like you, and I don't do the malicious thing. I don't hold it over your head. I don't contact you, like, and you screw me over anyway. So it's like, thanks.
Okay.
I see who you are. Please leave me alone.
Okay. Going now that we've gotten past Spondyle, the flamenco stuff kind of happened around the same time your issue with Warski happened. Do you want to get into that at all?
Sure, we can talk about Warski. By the way, everybody, since you don't know, I am that bitch that Warski was talking about.
Yeah, there was a part in flamenco's when they were interrogating flamenco on the famous flamenco W stream. Warski at the end says, "Can that bitch stop that bitch stop DMing me," or something like that, something of that nature, and he was referring to you.
Yeah, I am that bitch. Like, I was trying to get that shit to stop. That shit was a train wreck. That shit made nobody look good. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I was sitting there freaking super upset that day. Like, what? Like, even if I'm a co-host, even if I was Andy Warski sitting there, like, I would literally, I would hear what was going on between Godwinson and freaking PvP, and I would literally throw my headphones down and walk out. I'd be like, nah, bro, you can't do this. Like, nah.
So
like
bef-
shit gets that fucked up.
yeah, before all that, what did you have any interactions with Warski?
Yeah.
Like what kind of interactions?
Matt, you know what kind of interactions I had with Warski. Come
Wait,
on.
what?
What?
Matt?
I don't.
Matt, what are you
recall-
not telling us,
I
Matt?
recall from our
Matt?
private conversation. I'm trying to remember what you said about, like, you said something of the nature like Warski and you like were DMing or something. Is that true, or
Yeah, me and Warski were DMing.
like?
Yeah, there was a couple weeks there where like he would like, you know, we were you know, we were kind of, you know, we were flirting a lot for a couple of weeks, you know, and it was pretty consistent flirting, and then the flamenco crap happened, and I chose, you know, friends over what I could have. Yeah.
When you say flirting, and you don't have to go into great detail or any of that nature, but like, are we saying like you look cute, haha, thanks, you're cute, stuff like that, or did it get more deeper than that?
Anyway,
Oh, okay.
Great.
I would like not to say how deep that
All right,
went.
all right. Let me ask it like this. All right. Do you look back on those conversations fondly?
Oh, very fondly.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, those were amazing conversations.
Have you talked to him since he kind of said that on that stream?
Oh, heck no.
Oh, why not?
Because he blocked me.
Oh shit.
You can't talk to someone who blocked you, man. And like I would do that for a friend any day.
Yeah.
Do you
So
think he's gonna win
you
his fight this weekend?
yeah. Do you yeah? Say that again, Toxic.
Do you think he's gonna win his fight this weekend? No.
It's hard. This is a really hard question because you're asking me to choose my loyalties here, dude. Because like Warski isn't signed by Happy Punch, and Salt Poppy is.
Well, it's not. I'm not asking.
So it could be rigged, and you think that if it's rigged, then he's gonna, get cheated.
Well, you're asking me to choose someone who's like trained by Keemstar's company.
Yeah. So it's
and
Keemstar
somebody
on one
who's
side, and then Warski on the other side.
and
You can't.
Warski and somebody who I was like into, and somebody who I was like a little bit flirty with here. So it's like,
I get it. Yeah.
yeah. So I want Warski to do well. I want Salt Pop to do well, and whoever, whoever did the work, whoever has the most skill, is gonna win.
That's fair. We'll probably know by the time this episode comes out. You brought up Keemstar. Have you ever talked to Keemstar?
But before we go to the Keemstar, I'm sorry, Toxic. Would you say it's water under the bridge between you and Warski? Like, as far as you go, do you hold any? I wouldn't say hatred, but any disgruntled feelings towards Warski now?
A situation is a situation, and I'm as long as he comes and talks to me about it, and I'm not talking like a fight, like a conversation like this, like a leveled, come talk to me like a bro. As long as he comes and talks to me like that, we're gonna be cool. I'm very much everyone expects me to be like a woman just because I have a vagina. And it's not like that. I was raised by men. I'm very much like a guy.
Okay.
So it's as long as people come talk to me about stuff and are straightforward with me, I'm cool.
Okay. Toxic, go ahead.
Yeah, so back to Keemstar. Have you ever talked to Keemstar?
Played the fifth.
What?
Really?
Okay.
So just make it clear you don't want to talk about Keemstar at all?
This is gonna go on the episode, isn't it?
No.
I mean, well, it's I see, because we had in a private conversation, I brought up Keemstar, and you just seemed like you didn't want to talk about it at all, and I'm just, we don't have to go into Keemstar. I'm just confused on you seem like out of all the people in the community, Keemstar is your guy, right? He's your guy. He's the one that you're tweeting at the most. He's the one you're talking about the most. You're a pretty huge Keemstar fan. So I'm just wondering, like, why not talk about it? What's the issue?
That's because like everybody likes to talk about it with me. And everybody likes to ask me the question like, are you the number one Keemstar fan? And it's like, why are you guys so interested? Like, to me, the guy gets a bad reputation. All the way around. Like, I've seen his older stuff. I've done the research. And when I came across Keem, he had a really bad rep with women. Like, a super bad rep with women.
Okay.
And I was like, wait, he's just dating a 20-year-old girl. And everyone's calling this woman, you know, a child. And, you know, I put myself in that 20-year-old shoes, like, in society. And I was like, if people were calling me a child, I'd be mad. I'd be pissed with society if I was that 20-year-old girl. Like, wouldn't you be?
Well, yeah, obviously.
You're
Like,
kind of dating a millionaire, but you know.
well, even though that 20-year-old ended up fucking him over, like, we can't discredit how society made that woman feel just because she decided to date Keemstar.
Right.
Like, and she wouldn't have been called a child in any other context. Let's be real here.
Yeah, but you gotta remember the type of people who are calling them a child or H3 fans will do anything to, you know.
Yeah.
To get a shout out, to get like a yay.
Yeah, exactly.
just
They'll
to
do
defend their guy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of seen as like this point of like you're a fan of this person, therefore you're rocking with them, you're all in. But you know, another person's a fan of H3, they're all in, so they're going to say whatever they can shit on your guy, while you say whatever you can to shit on their guy. You know what I mean? And it's very parasocial. It's all the people that are very they feel very close to the person they like. You know what I mean? So they think they can do no wrong. Therefore, they can't see them do anything wrong. Therefore, they're always right, and your side is wrong.
That's not what happens in my brain. To me, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. So if Keemstar does something wrong, I'm going to tell him he's done something wrong, morally.
Okay.
And it's because like, just like when he did a video a couple months back, saying that he was retiring again.
Mm-hmm.
I had a fit with him. I went off on him about that. That was the last huge mistake he made because, like, to me, so many people rely on him doing Drama Alert as a job. And it's like, so all of a sudden, you're going to put how many people in a panic because you wanted to make a joke?
Right. Well, was it a joke when he retired? I think he was serious.
First time he was completely serious, and I like that time was like I could see was super hard for Keem, and I tried to be there as like I was going through a super hard time as well. So I tried to be there as much as I could for Keem. But you know, you come first. But the second time he did it, it was super like he did it for clicks and he did it for views. And I got really, really pissed off at him because the first time, like, we had all were like, hey, we had all just gotten done, like, getting you out of the first time that you were thinking about retiring, dude. You know?
Yeah.
Real quick, I just want to ask you this question because you're like, you like Keem, right? What do you think about the current state of Drama Alert?
Oh, jeez. I have a lot of thoughts about this. Keem's bored. Keem's fucking bored. Keem's to me, Keem's really fucking bored. He doesn't want to do Drama Alert anymore, but he doesn't want to disappoint his fans. So I think he's writing on the Keemstar show a little bit. And, you know, I want nothing more than the success of that show.
Yeah. So, have you ever talked to Keem?
She pleaded the fifth of that, Matt.
I just wanted to try one more time. Sorry.
I think she's pleaded the fifth again.
So, I'm
I mean, what's wrong with saying that you platonically talk to some other guy? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right?
because people are entitled to a personal life, and that's something that I firmly believe in, and that's something that I really that's something that I believe public figures don't get in their life.
So, and to be fair to our audience, they're just going to jump to the assumption, yes, you have spoken with him.
Or no, and she's crazy.
Well, I mean, that's the alternative, but I think people would lean more toward, yes, you've had the conversation. You've had a conversation with him. In what context? I mean, nobody's really going to be able to determine that unless you or Keemstar is willing to give that information up. But we can determine if you would have said no and the conversation would have ended there. But we're assuming that you have had conversation, and I know you're not going to confirm it, but that's what saying nothing or moving on from it kind of projects. I'm just saying.
Would it make you guys feel better?
It's not that we feel anything. I'm just sharing what public opinion may be about that.
So, just for the record, it's just plead the fifth, right?
Oh.
Okay. Beavers.
Out of respect for Dan, the only thing that I want to say is that I have talked to him about him deserving a personal life. And he does deserve that.
Okay.
In my eyes.
Beavers, do you have a question?
I do have a question. So, according to Mr. Matt Pitt, the reason that you didn't come on this podcast earlier was because of an individual known as Colton. Now, I don't like Colton, so I wanna find out if this is the truth and why you didn't want to come on because of this person, Colton.
Oh, me and Colton used to be super close. He used to help me in this space, like navigate like who was good, who was bad, like who I should stay away from. And you know, maybe that was partially my fault. Like maybe that was like partially my downfall, only listening to Colton, because I thought he he had my best interest like super at heart.
Well, you're speaking past tense. What happened?
Yeah, what happened?
If you want to talk about it.
Oh, just like me and Colton aren't talking anymore. Like,
shucks.
Do you think he had a habit of being an internet therapist?
A little bit, like, because I've had the feeling like I always had the feeling he wanted to kind of be my dad.
What?
Yeah, like he kind of like wanted to like have that authority over me, and it's like, dude, older than you, dude, like, no.
When you say authority, was he like trying to tell you what to do?
Yeah, in like the social media
on.
realm. Like, yeah, in like the social media realm. Like,
so if you were still friends with Colton, you probably wouldn't be here right now. Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but
what? I don't know if you can go into it, but like, or just broadly speaking, what was the fallout there? because I know that Colton's a very
Disturbed
hard
individual.
hard person to get along with sometimes, and he's a piece of work. That boy.
I wouldn't say he's a flawed person or a piece of work. I would say he's had a troubled past, and he's had some really close people do him wrong, and he's gonna have to really work on those things while he works through life. And I think our fallout was my loyalties. My loyalties are just kind of like my loyalties, and I'm gonna keep my loyalties while I work on myself. I'm not going to drop one of my loyalties while I'm working on me, or while I'm working on something I'm doing. And he kind of expected me to do that, and it's like, no, I'm either going to, do a little bit less of something to work on me a little bit more, or I'm not just going to drop something out of the blue. And
So he was trying to be a bit too controlling than what you were comfortable with.
Yeah.
Essentially, he was trying to tell
and
you
like,
what to do, when to do it.
and
Kind of
like,
deal.
yeah, and I just got out of like a really bad marriage, and it took a really big role model to give me the strength to get out of that really bad marriage, and to really, show me that I'm not who my husband said I was. And so like being next to Colton kind of reminded me of that, and I was like, I can't do that.
Okay.
Well, I've got no love for the man. He called me a pedophile. So,
Oh yeah.
fuck you, Colton. Suck a dick.
Jesus Christ.
When it comes
He
to
did. There's no realm in which that's okay.
give
And I didn't
context.
even do anything that day. I just
Tell
held an
the
opinion
audience.
that was contrary to his, and he was just like, yeah, well,
Alright.
you're a pedophile.
So,
Well,
okay, well,
I
there's
actually
the-
have a question, and I'm gonna be as polite as I can about this one.
Of course.
So did Colton almost like reciprocate like that that behavior of like him wanting you to be his therapist in a way, or someone to like trauma dump on, if you understand what I mean? Like he would just talk to you about like his problems and stuff, or was it just a one-way kind of thing where he was like, I'm going to tell you about my advice in my world and my life, and that's it? Like,
Oh no, it was definitely like a two-way street, and like I really thank Colton for that, and because like we did empathize, and we did connect on a lot of things that we've been through in the past. And that's why I understand Colton a little bit.
Because it sounds to me like he almost used other people, and this isn't the first time we've heard this, to kind of use you as like his temporary therapist in the moment if someone else wasn't available, or and I guess maybe you call that just a friend or whatever, but in a way, it's like he's been trying to help and fix people, and it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. I don't know.
I don't know if you're familiar with what happened on Doc on the Radio stream, Ashers, where he kind of had a moment when they were kind of getting on to him about being an internet therapist. But yeah, there's been a pattern of him like going into people's DMs that have had issues in the commentary community, and for the record, it's hearing their side. At least I mean, it's okay to hear somebody's side, but it felt like he was almost collecting. Looking outside of all this, felt like he was almost collecting, sad stories. But I do want to. I'll argue this for him. What he says is that he went through some shit in the commentary community. He's been through hell in the commentary community, so he relates to people who are getting shit on, and he wants to hear their side of the story.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for if it wasn't for Colton, you know, I wouldn't have begun to understand how you guys kind of talk to each other and kind of communicate with each other, and that, you know, certain things are jokes and certain things aren't jokes, and, you know, certain things are lighthearted, and to hold back in certain situations. And, you know, he would help me with that stuff because, like, I am diagnosed as autistic and ADHD.
Yeah.
So, and my type of autism, I can't convey tone very well. And it's just specifically tone. So somebody will say something and, like, they'll say it completely jokingly, and I will think that they're serious. And I'm like, oh crap. And I'll respond completely the wrong way.
Right.
And I'll respond defensively instead of funny. And I'll
Right.
ruin the moment. And so I'm like, crap. And so that's something that even to this day, I'm 100% terrible at, and I completely am still working on.
I mean, I admire you for reaching out and talking to somebody about your problems, etc. But I'm just going to say it right here. I don't think Colton is the person you should or should have gone to about learning context.
Definitely
and
not.
how to read cues.
Oh no,
He's not particularly good at it.
No.
it's probably not the best person, but like when everybody's like shitting on you, and like you really don't know who to turn to, like,
Yeah.
because you think in that moment that everyone's your enemy, when really everyone's not. They're just kind of like having fun at your expense.
Mm-hmm.
And like, so you feel really trapped and you feel like you're in this cage. And so you're like, oh crap. Like, I can't turn to anyone for help. Like, and so like when Colton reaches out like that, he knows that you're in that cage. And he's like, hey, it's okay. You're not in a cage. No one's attacking you. Like, they're just having fun at your expense. You need to come out of this cage, and like, you're putting yourself in here.
Yeah.
That's
when
what
it-
that's what
Go ahead.
Colton's doing.
Right. When it comes to Colton, do you know why he was so against you coming on here?
He thinks you're a clout chaser.
What?
And
Who's
he
a clout
and,
chaser?
What?
Matt Pitt?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Matt is. I'm not.
Oh, he's right about that.
I mean,
Uh,
Matt, you should see what he does for other people.
Yeah,
He
it's
co-hosts for
insane.
like 8
Matt
people.
Pitt will suckle on the penis of every commentary person if they can get him just that little bit of clout.
He's been on Edwin streams, Tipster streams, Nick streams,
He's everywhere.
Auggie streams, Dave streams. He's just everywhere, dude.
Let's see, Ash.
That's-
these are what
that's
these are
what
what are called
Flamenco.
jokes.
that's what everybody, or that's what he that's the reason he gave me. And like if anybody asks me shit like that, I literally am that blunt every time.
Right.
So,
and everyone thinks it's really awkward.
So after we just said all of that, do you feel like Matt is still a clout chaser?
No, and that's why I kind of reached out to Matt, and I showed him like what was said about him, like, and I was like, I don't think this is really true about you. Like, I don't know if this is true about you. Like, I'd like to figure out for myself if this is true about you, because it's like, if somebody says something about you, like, that's somebody else's perspective. Like, yeah, I'm gonna want to know what made that perspective. And I never got to know why Colton thought Matt was a clout chaser, but like, I'm gonna go to that person and be like, hey, this was said about you, and like, I want to know for myself who you are as a person.
Yeah.
well, I've got a
Just,
question for Mr. Clout Chasing Matt. Matt, you go on all these people's streams, but not Flamenco. Why?
I
Because
don't.
he's declining in subs. What's going on here, Matt?
No, Flamenco's a pet. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
That's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke.
Sorry.
No. Well, obviously I don't just go on these streams for clout. I go on because I'm friendly with these people, and I go on, to have fun with Dave or Edwin. I'm part of Shop from the Point, and I think I can prove that there's no clout to be had with me because I promote your fucking podcast, Toxic, on your channel. So
Or
I don't want to hear shit about
let's
it.
go, our podcast.
Yeah, yeah, but it's your channel, all right? I get
that's
nothing out of this.
My podcast.
Yeah, shut up.
No, but just to explain, I think Colton has issues with us because he left the server on bad terms, and he called our server a
He's
boomer
a
server,
salty little bitch.
and he
Yeah,
was
I'll
just,
tell
I
you-
think he was just mad at us.
I'll tell you why.
Go
It's
ahead.
because he left the server because of the Zell stuff, and he got really upset about that. And then that was like whenever we started the podcast. As soon
Yeah.
as that happened, it was like that's like around the same time we started the podcast, and then he's been trying to like shit on the podcast ever since then.
Yeah, you guys are really creative. You're terrible.
Well,
Bad flow.
I think he's a little butthurt because when he was having his little spurg out in the server, and he started he started saying that the server was just a home for terrible people, and then he started promoting his own Discord server within a paid Discord server, which is not okay. But he started doing that, and I think he's just a little bit butthurt because I don't think anybody joined.
You know what, Colton?
That's
Make
what-
your
that's
own
what I think.
podcast. Let's go. Compete with us.
Well, no, we've
Okay.
given him like he wants to come on, or no, excuse me. I've offered for him to come on, and I actually was in a voice chat with the guy, and he said, I guess he told you this, Cord, because he's like, did Cord tell you my conditions? And I was like, no. And he says, I will only come on if you can get Repzion and Repzilla on at the same
Or
time.
Repzilla.
Or Repzilla. Okay, yeah. Either or. So
Right, well,
well,
let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Oh, are you talking about the?
Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, that is a rabbit hole.
Real
I know what
quick,
you're talking about there.
yeah, you brought up that you're autistic. I'm gonna start asking all of our autistic guests this from
Oh
now
my
on,
God,
which seems
stop.
to be like everyone. Do you like Sonic?
I have never played the Sonic games or like watched any of the movies. I'm like, I didn't grow up on those type of video games, so
So you don't know.
Not really.
Okay.
you know how people with autism kind of zero in on stuff? Is there anything you zero in on that you kind of have, not necessarily an obsession, but something you're really good at? Something like that?
I'm really good at building, architecturally speaking.
Okay.
So like in The Sims 4, I build houses.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. Last Colton question. When I think I offered an olive branch just to kind of negotiate you coming on, would be like, I'm cool with you and Colton coming on to talk. What did he hear that proposal out, or did he shoot that down, or?
We never really talked about that proposal. He was kind of really wishy-washy with me at that time because he was I don't know why he gets that way sometimes, where he just doesn't really want to talk to you.
Okay.
But he was in one of those
bitch.
moments.
All right.
But he was in one of those moments when that was
Make
that
your
was-
guest feel awkward. 101.
I have no bad feelings towards Colton. I really don't. I heard some recent updates about Colton. Are we I don't know if this is like a troll account. Are we misgendering Colton?
I'm pretty
The
sure
troll.
that was months ago. That was troll.
That was a troll.
Okay, I'm just making sure, like, because I'm like, I'm gonna pull a Jitty in here. I don't want to get canceled.
Hey,
Fair enough.
Coltina, would you like to
Yeah.
come on and argue with me?
It's like Colleen.
I was like, is this really happening? Like, I can kind of believe it if it is, like, but okay, like,
Maybe Colton's a woman. Maybe that's why he's so irrational.
well, it's not that he's irrational. It's just that, like, you just gotta, yeah, you just gotta keep his past in mind when you talk to him.
Moving on, Ash. This is kind of a tough question, so I just wanted to prepare you for this. Do you know about parasocial relationships?
Yes, I know a lot about parasocial relationships.
Do you think you've ever yourself participated in being like in a parasocial relationship?
Yes, and I try to catch it like super early when it happens. Um, and it's crazy how quick it can happen, guys. Like because like you can like not know somebody and not talk to somebody before and
Mhm.
like really think that you can know who they are, and it's like, wait, you don't know them, you got to take a step back.
Right.
hmm
And
Would
And
you
like,
say you have a parasocial relationship right now?
oh no, I've like I catch like I can watch somebody and be like, I can start empathizing with that person and being like, and like start watching them on a daily basis and like kind of start feeling that parasocial thing forming and being like, oh no, like that's not real, that's parasociality, like
That's
go
how me and
away.
Beaver's relationship is.
What?
What?
Huh?
I don't know.
when it comes to the parasocial stuff, do you know about the whole Pola stuff with Auggie and all that?
I don't know what happened with that. I put my 2 cents in because like I put my 2 cents in on Twitter because this girl named Zip Zap was just like, she was being really authoritative and she was kind of like, nobody talk about it until Wednesday. Nobody talk about it till Wednesday. And I'm like, if somebody wants to talk, like, I'm always here.
Mm-hmm.
So Polis, what's up? I was kind of being a troll at that point and being like, Zip Zap, if people want to talk, like, people have the First Amendment, like freedom of speech, like STFU.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
We have Zip Zap on?
Yes.
Yeah, we've had Zip Zap on
Yeah, I thought we did.
with,
Name
with,
sounded
with
familiar.
Polis, yeah. So when it came to the Pola stuff, obviously there was some parasocial stuff going with Auggie, and that kind of happened. Like, if you don't have to say if you don't want to, but are there any examples that you saw yourself having like a parasocial relationship? Do you want to name any of the YouTubers or anything of that nature, like where you saw
Oh, do I
yourself
want to
start?
tattle on myself?
Yes.
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 They're like, please tattle on yourself, Alyssa.
Yeah.
Like whenever I watch Bo Blacks, that's one that's like really hard for me. It's like I really empathize with Bo Blacks, so it's like I have to go like, you don't know Bo Blacks, you've never talked to Bo Blacks, like gotta keep that in mind.
Could it be because you're both autistic?
It could be like, and I was
Brothers
really
in arms.
and like and like when I joined the call, he was super nice to me too. Like that's something that I'll always like, because growing up and even now, like when I join a space, I'm used to being that outsider and kind of being that person that takes a look at the big picture of things, because I'm not really accepted at the beginning of pretty much anything.
Right.
And it's because instead of like, you know, if someone's talking crap about me, I would rather, you know, have them try and come to me and have them figure it out than have me come confront them about that. And it's
Mhm.
like, because sometimes humans just need time to process who you are, and everything doesn't need to be a big fight.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and kind of letting people process who you are and what you're about. And I think within doing that on the internet, people have just created more false narratives and false rumors about me.
Right.
And it's like, no, I'm not an evil person. No, I haven't. I'm not obsessed with people. I have my own things going on in life that I work on, and I support different people in the meantime.
Okay. Are there any people that you got issues with in the commentary community, like right now? Like, are there anyone you want to call out, criticize, of anything of that nature?
Bergs are welcome to.
As a person from the outside looking in, I have a lot of criticism.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy C, I would like Tommy C. I would like to see him, even though it's against his nature, I would like to see him work more with women.
Okay.
Oh,
I think that would benefit his audience, and I think that would benefit his bottom line. Even if that woman is occasionally his wife, if he's comfortable. I think a
about
Tommy
Jessica?
C. What was that?
What about Jessix?
Jessix. You mean Jessica Pizzle?
No,
no,
No.
They're basically the same.
no, they're not.
no, they're not. Jessix, she's like a very devout
Cute.
Catholic, and since Tommy C recently found God, I mean, it's a great fit, right?
Whoever Tommy C is really like willing to work with, and whoever more importantly jives with everybody in the show.
Okay.
Like that's the most important thing. I'm not here to I'm here to give ideas. I'm not here to dictate shows.
Yeah.
Like I'm here to give ideas that might give a new spin to shows, or that might give more content, or give a different perspective.
Yeah.
Um,
Any besides Tommy, anyone else?
and that's not really a problem. That's more of an improvement thing. I have a problem with Nicholas Diorio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have a problem with him. I have a problem with people who go around and think they're smarter than everyone else around them. When he's really not. I see what he's doing. And there's going to come a time where he's going to screw himself. And I'm just waiting.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think, and I'm going to say it. Tommy C was right.
I
Dun, dun, dun.
thought she was gonna say the N-word.
No,
I'm just
I
I
wish.
actually don't say the N-word.
Can you say it
Oh.
right now?
No.
Oh,
Come
okay.
on, Toxic. Don't
I'm
make a
sorry,
lady say the
Toxic.
N-word.
Oh, sad now.
Can you do it after the show?
Guys.
Jesus Christ.
No, Core. I can't say it after the show.
Yeah.
But
But what about this, for example, right? You know, you said you don't like people that go around and think they're smarter than everybody, right?
Uh-huh.
But I know I'm smarter than everybody. I don't think it. I know it.
Beavers,
Yeah.
do you use your intelligence to manipulate other people into doing harm against even more people, and then try to obfuscate responsibility for everything and put it on the people that you originally manipulated in the first place?
Why, yes, he does.
I tried to get a drunk guy to drink his own piss one night.
Can confirm that happened.
See?
You're the problem, Beavers.
But that doesn't impact thousands of kids across America. So I can't be mad at you for that. I can only be mad at the dumb mother effer who drank his own pee. And
No, you should be mad at Matt because he stopped it from happening.
Well,
Matt,
the guy didn't do it, so I think that's an important factor here.
what the
Yeah,
hell?
but you stopped him from doing it.
No, yeah, because it's just not necessary.
Yeah, but he
right?
also stopped him from
not
ODing
gonna
and
hurt him.
everything too. He was like
Shh,
on a whole
shh, we
thing.
don't tell him that part. Don't make him sound like a good guy. Just make him sound like he ruined my fun.
Right. So you got issues with Nick. A lot of issues with Nick, obviously. Anyone else that comes to mind that you want to get off your chest?
Even if it's Matt Pitt.
True.
No, I don't have any beef with you guys.
Yeah.
The only other person that I could think that I have a little bit of even feeling or like even like bad feelings to is Psych.
Okay, and we've already really talked about Psych. So like none of this, like the people in Doc on the Radio circle, Auggie circle, like even the Spurgs, even like the smaller people, like you got no issues with them.
No, because like I understand that things get muddled. Things like the truth didn't come from my mouth until now.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't really get mad at everybody or every single person who perpetuated these rumors or everyone who said these rumors because they didn't know they were false.
Yep. Okay. All right. I did have
I
one
got
thing.
questions.
I did just one thing. Would you ever see yourself becoming a tipster goth mommy?
What?
Hipster goth mommy.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think so. I think there's going to
Good. They
be
always end bad.
I think there's going to be a new harem growing
I'm
in the
starting
commentary
one.
community.
Yes.
Mine.
No.
Not mine?
No.
Which harem is
mine.
that, Ash?
I don't know. I don't know who's going to start it, but I just like I have this feeling within me that there's going to be a new harem that like competes with tipsters. I don't know who's going to start it, but I think it's going to be like I don't know. I just
Will
have a
you
feeling
join
that
my harem?
You can't even pronounce the word right.
Harem.
There you
Harem.
go.
I might join the new
I'm pretty
one.
sure it's harem, by the way.
I think Dave's starting one.
Yeah, Dave is starting one. That one, Dave.
See, I told you. Like, I think there's a new one that's just gonna like compete, and we're gonna have these memes where they compete back and forth. Like,
Yeah.
I think this is gonna be a thing.
Yeah, Dave will even take it farther than tipster because he's single. So he's gonna go as far as he can.
Great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Beavers, you said you had a question.
Yes. Because Toxic's a pussy. Will you ever start an OnlyFans?
Will I ever start an OnlyFans? OnlyFans won't let me on their platform.
Why?
Why?
I don't know. I've tried to verify my account like 8 different times, and they won't let me on their platform.
All right. Well, if somehow you get on, can I have a free subscription?
You know, if I ever feel like, you know, the medication advocacy route is just completely, you know, just Snoresville, I will pick up my OnlyFans again.
Okay.
Didn't answer my question. But it's fine. We can move on.
Yes, Toxic.
Next question.
I will
Yes.
give you a free one.
Yes.
Nice. Next question. Can I get pictures of your feet?
Jesus.
Oh my god, you guys are fucking.
You guys, what the fuck?
Yeah, you're included
Matt
in
wrote
that,
that
Matt.
question, by the way. He was just too
No
scared to
beavers,
ask.
but if you talk to me really sexy, you might get pictures of my boobs.
Wait a minute.
I
I didn't know that was an option.
You guys heard it here first. Beaver got game, bitches.
Okay.
Fake
Um,
I don't do pictures of feet. Like it's just not my thing. Like I'm not kink shaming. It's just ain't my thing.
Yeah, but what about like for people like Matt?
I was gonna ask.
For him, it's like a longing, but also sexual gratification. That's what he gets from feet.
ableism to send your feet to a person with 1 foot. That's just unfair and
So
not
it's
right.
You're not. I thought you would like prefer feet pics. It's not
No.
like
No,
it's like
fuck
it's
this-
something you
no,
don't see
fuck your-
often. So you're like,
fuck your
Only
feet,
the
no.
foot that he's missing,
wanna
though.
see your
Only on the
fucking
side
feet.
that
oh
he's
yeah,
missing,
so
so
you
that he
wanna
can
just
look at it and be like,
he doesn't want feet pics. He wants
Ah.
foot pics of only the right
Oh
foot.
yeah, so I can like daydream about walking.
Oh, I wish
that
I
foot?
had that. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Can you please put your foot on my leg? Oh, I want to feel real.
Can you rub
again.
my stump with your footsies?
Can you tape my stump to your leg
Yeah,
and walk with me?
we can do like a
Can we
three-legged
walk
race.
together?
Oh, jeez, I'm going
You
to
wanna,
hell.
you know what you wanna do?
Comparing.
You know, like back in the day in the 90s, there was like that whole meme where it was in some movies and shows and shit where people would wear the same pair of pants and stuff like that. Um, like they'd wear a shirt, but there'd be two people in the shirt, and they'd be kind of conjoined,
Yeah,
kind of
Siamese
thing.
twins. Those people are cool. Those people are scary.
Yeah, that's what
actually.
you want.
Yeah. Ash, if you had to give advice to someone that's going through some sort of parasocial relationship, what would you say? How would you give them advice to snap out of it?
This is the easiest advice I can give to somebody. It's take a step back and start working on a project of your own. Because I view people as one big masterpiece, one big work of art. And everyone is in progress.
Okay.
And like somebody being parasocially attached to a work of art, to me, that's just like somebody falling in love with a painting. And they don't want to leave
That's
that
weird.
painting because it's a different reality than theirs. And they just don't want to live in their own reality. So they just need to either make their own reality better or focus on a project within their own reality.
Right. Okay. That's very well put, actually. Anyone else have any questions?
I just want to say like a closing kind of thing. Are you glad you came on? Because I like ask people that when they're kind of hesitant before and they finally come on. Do you regret coming on here?
Oh, I don't regret coming on here at all. I worry about. I always have to worry about coming on to spaces publicly, and it's because of my seizure disorder. I don't want anybody to have to listen to that, or have to hear that, or have to even watch that. Nobody should ever have to. And so I'm a very private person because to witness that is very traumatic for people. And that's the last thing I want to do is like hurt anybody or traumatize anybody.
Okay. Core, you got anything?
What?
You got anything you want to ask?
Not that I can think of. Sorry.
All right. Beavers, anything else?
Nope.
All right.
Oh wait, I
Ash,
do. I got something. Okay.
Okay.
Kill, fuck, marry, tipster, Tommy C, Auggie.
Kill, fuck, marry, tipster, Tommy C, Auggie. Okay.
I feel like I could take a guess.
Oh wait, no, sorry. Let me take Auggie away. Replace that with Keemstar.
Jesus.
Oh, really?
It's a hypothetical. I can even answer it if that'll make you feel more comfortable.
I'm. It's a little uncomfortable. Oh God, I'd hate to do this.
I ask every guest this.
I'd have to kill. I'd have to kill Tipster.
That's not what
Okay.
I expected.
kill tipster.
I'd have to fuck Tommy C, and I'd have to marry
Well.
Keemstar.
Okay. Well, there you go. You've heard it here. So she's definitely not becoming a goth mommy tipster.
Nope.
I feel so bad. I'm sorry, Tipster.
Well, he listens, so now
I'm
you just have to
sorry.
deal with it.
Oh wait, Tommy's married too. Fuck. I was gonna say he's. Oh well,
All right.
Oops. I'm sorry, Tommy C's wife.
that's all good.
It's fine. Ash, is there anything else you wanted to say? Closing statements that you wanted to?
Anybody who has any questions, just come talk to me. Pretty chill
Okay.
person.
Yeah.
And I wish everybody a great life. Like,
Thank you.
yeah.
All right. Cool.
Cool. So,
Right. Ash, thank you so
You
much.
seem like a very nice autistic girl.
autistic being the key word there. Thank you so much, Beavers.
Okay.
Mhm.
Ash, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. I think this was a pretty good podcast.
Oh, not a problem. Thank you guys so much for having me on. I really do appreciate you guys giving me a voice.
Hell yeah. All right. Have a good one, Ash.
Bye.
All right, now that she's
All right.
gone, I kind of
All
want to
right,
ask you guys
first
a
of all, now
question.
let's call out Colton. Well, we got to. All right,
No.
Colton, you little fucking snake, get the
You're
fuck
next.
on here.
You're next. All right. But I want to ask you guys a question because I didn't want to ask while she was here. All right. If someone tells you you're not good enough to rape, isn't that kind of a compliment?
What?
What?
Sorry, I sat on this question.
Yeah,
for-
And now
mean?
next
Why would that be a
episode will be
compliment?
Toxic being canceled.
Because if you're not good enough to rape, right? Like that's kind of a, I'd take that as a compliment because they're saying they wouldn't rape me.
I disavow
That's
this
good.
conversation.
So would you want to be raped, Core?
I disavow this conversation. We're good.
I
Okay.
wouldn't take it as
No
a,
one just
Bye,
I
everybody.
wouldn't
See
take
you
it as a
next
compliment.
week.
I'd take it as a
Fucking answering that.
positive.
What's the downside to answering the question?
I'm not answering.
What's the downside to answering the question?
The downside is answering the question.
No,
It's like if
what-
you have a fat
Matt,
kid,
end the
they've got, like,
podcast,
natural-
please.
Like if you have a fat or ugly kid, they've got natural protection
And-
against
No,
predators.
I
Thank you
want
so
someone to
much for
tell
coming
me-
on to now recording, Ash. We really appreciate it.
I
Tune
agree,
in
yes.
next time for our next episode. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Comment what you think about Ash. I think she did a pretty
Comment
good job.
why
on the
it's
podcast.
not a compliment.
No.
Don't use the word.
No,
but comment
no.
why it's not a compliment,
No. All right.
please.
Shout out to Psych Draws. Sorry about that.
Yeah, come on and fight her. Have a cat fight for us,
All right.
please.
Yeah,
No, don't. No.
Yes,
joke. Well, we're joking. Ha ha ha.
I'm
Jokes.
not.
See?
No, come on.
All right. Like, subscribe, comment.
I love you all.
Yeah. And that's about it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good one. It's Soundbite.
Core.
Bye.
Core.
Soundbite.
Core.
Tommy's a psychopath.